In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the TCP logging features in UltraARCHIVE Plus, which gives you a tremendous amount of logging when you're working on issues with DICOM transfer with this product. First, I'm going to click on Configuration, Archive Plus Settings, and this logging that I'm showing you is only valid for sending and receiving on the archive ports. With gateway ports, we have other logging mechanisms you could use, but the logging available in the Archive Plus is much more detailed. So I'm going to log in with a user account that has administrative rights to the software. I'm going to click on Configuration, Network. At the bottom, you'll see the debug options. I'm going to turn on all 4 debug options: commands, data, transfers, and errors. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to click on Service. So I've enabled the debug logging, but it's not yet writing a log file. Before it begins writing TCP log, we have to click Restart DICOM. Once you click Restart DICOM, you'll be able to send a study, and it should log it to the TCP log. Let's take a look at the TCP log first. I'm going to click on Server, Logs, TCP IP log. Then I'm going to click Load, and I have to find the correct file. By default, your TCP log files will be stored in your working directory for the Archive Plus. Whatever the default directory is for storage of DICOM data, that's where you'll find your log files. It should automatically put you in that directory when you click to look at the log files. In my case, I have 3 log files. There is one for port 105, one for 104, and one for traffic that I am routing or sending. You will always find one log file for each IP address and each port number. So if I were listening on 4 IP addresses, I would see a lot more log files in here. In this case, I'm going to take a look at the port 104 because I want to look for information or for troubleshooting for receiving a file into my Archive Plus. I'm going to open up the port 104. You can see here it says that it was started at 10:54, which was just a second ago. I'm going to go to Store SCU, and I'm going to test sending an image to my Archive Plus. This is just simulating a modality or another device sending to the Archive Plus server, to the router. So I just sent the file. When I refresh this log file, I should see some DICOM traffic, and I do. So we can see here the association request from Store SCU. It called UltraARCHIVE Plus any-SCP, so I can see the IP address, the AE title that they were calling themselves and calling us. I can see what they were requesting. So this is a list of the transfer and abstract syntaxes that they requested in the association. This is what we accepted. And then finally, you can see the actual DICOM information that was sent, including the pixel data. If you want to look at the actual packets, you can do that. So if you look at the actual hexadecimal data that's being sent, you can click on low level. Low level has a lot of information in it, but each one of these is a DICOM PDU. So if I double click on it, you can see the actual traffic. So this gives you a very low level of logging, but this is very useful for UltraRAD when we're trying to troubleshoot certain issues. So we'll occasionally ask for this type of logging. So that's a log file for receiving. Similarly, we also log when we're sending. So if you try to send a study, it'll show up in this log file. So if you're troubleshooting sending, use the route log file, and if you're troubleshooting for receiving, you're going to use the log file for the port number that you're receiving on. If UltraRAD asks you for a copy of the TCP log, you're going to find the log again, and if you go into your default directory where you're storing your DICOM data, you'll find the log files. So I'm going to go into my stored directory under TCP logs, and here's the TCP log that I would send to UltraRAD. So here's the one for port 104. Now notice that that log file is rather large. It's over 9 megabytes, and I've only had it running for a short period of time. The reason that log file is so large is that the file that I sent is about 9 megabytes, and I'll show you. So if I look in Store SCU, this is the file that I actually sent, and it's 9.6 megabytes. So it logged the entire DICOM file because the actual file is sent, and we're logging all of those packets. Everything, all that data is logged in the TCP log file. So they do grow rather quickly, and they are quite large, so we don't recommend running TCP logging for an extended period of time. However, it will zip the log files so as not to use too much space on your system. If I go back to the archive utility, I'm going to show you one more thing. You can see that currently the debug logging is turned on, and it is running. By default, if you restart or stop and start your service for UltraARCHIVE, so I'm going to stop the archive service, and I'm going to start it back up again. You'll notice when I go in the network, it automatically turned off all the TCP logging. So anytime the service is restarted, the logging will be turned off automatically. So if you're doing troubleshooting and you have to do a restart of the service, make sure you go and turn the log files back on, And always save a copy of the TCP log file before you start the service again, because it will remove the old copy. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.